In 2008, a 16-year-old girl in Hong Kong disappeared. The police launched an investigation, and as a result, traces of her were discovered at a pork stall in Kowloon. After that, for a long time, people were filled with fear whenever they saw minced meat. Rumors spread that the young girl was a prostitute who had been brutally murdered, dismembered, and buried together with pork to be sold at the market. Why was the young girl killed, and how did the story unfold? Next, we will return to April 29, 2008. On April 29, 2008, it was a Tuesday at the police station in the New Territories district. A worried-looking mother and daughter from the Wang family came to file a report. Mrs. Wang stated that her youngest daughter, Wang Jiamai, 16 years old, had been missing for 3 days. At first, the family thought she was simply staying over at a friend's house because she liked going out, but they had still been unable to contact her. Therefore, they asked the police for help in finding her. Her older sister, Ping, who accompanied her mother to the station, added, "At 11 p.m. on April 26, my younger sister and I were still chatting happily at home. After that, each of us went back to our rooms to rest, and nothing unusual happened. But the next morning, I couldn't find my sister anymore. I don't know when she left the house or where she went." The family explained that Wang Jiamai had occasionally stayed overnight at her boyfriend's house before, but after they broke up, she rarely spent nights away from home. Even when she had to return late, she would always inform the family beforehand. There had never been a case where she disappeared continuously for several days like this. After completing the report at the police station, the mother and daughter returned home. Cases like this were not uncommon, especially among teenagers of her age. The police officially registered the case as a missing person investigation and handed it over to the New Territories Missing Persons Unit for follow-up. The missing girl's name was Wang Jiamai, originally from Qinzhou. She was the second child in the family and had an older sister, Ping, who was 3 years older than her. Both sisters carried their mother's surname. When Wang Jiamai was 3 years old, her parents divorced due to conflicts. Her mother later remarried a Hong Kong man over 50 years old with the surname Chen. This stepfather was a lazy man without a stable job. Aside from obtaining Hong Kong residency, Wang Jiamai felt there was nothing about him worthy of her mother's affection. In 2000, Wang Jiamai's mother brought her older sister, Ping, to settle in Hong Kong, leaving the young girl behind alone. Some people said she remained in her hometown of Qinzhou, while others claimed she was sent to live with relatives in Dongguan. In any case, Wang Jiamai spent a lonely childhood growing up by herself. In 2005, at the age of 14, she was finally brought to Hong Kong to reunite with her mother, her sister Ping, and the stepfather she had barely known. The family's financial situation was poor. Her mother earned a living working as a cupping therapist. When Wang Jiamai first arrived in Hong Kong, she was delighted by the city's bustling and lively atmosphere. Her mother enrolled her at Peling Middle School, where her sister Ping was also studying. Wang Jiamai was an excellent student. In 8th grade, she won the Amethyst Award, a prize given to students with outstanding achievements in at least one of 3 subjects, mathematics, Chinese, or English. She also received awards in Mandarin and English speech recitation competitions and earned school scholarships for 2 consecutive years. However, Wang Jiamai did not have a good relationship with her classmates or teachers. In the eyes of her peers, she was introverted, stubborn, and quiet. Outside of school, her relationship with her stepfather was also extremely bad, and the two often argued fiercely. In 2007, Wang Jiamai enrolled in a modeling course outside of school. However, because of her ordinary appearance and figure, she rarely received any invitations for photo shoots. She lied to her family, claiming she was working as a modeling assistant and earning around 20 to 30,000 Hong Kong dollars a month. Not long afterward, however, she quit the job. Wang Jiamai loved beauty, makeup, and fashionable clothes. She often shared clothing and shoes with her older sister. The two sisters even signed up together for a makeup course, attending classes 3 times a week. In January 2008, perhaps wanting to help ease the family's financial burden, Wang Jiamai, who was then in the 10th grade, told her family that she wanted to drop out of school. Although her mother and sister strongly tried to persuade her otherwise, she stubbornly insisted on her decision, believing that studying further was useless. In the end, Wang Jiamai left school and stepped into society. She gradually fell into a reckless lifestyle, frequently visiting entertainment venues, associating with all kinds of people, and even sometimes staying out all night without returning home. After the case occurred, police went to Wang Jiamai's apartment in the Taiwa Estate area to investigate. This was a public housing complex provided by the Hong Kong government for low-income residents, where many new immigrants lived. Wang Jiamai lived in an apartment in Kuei-wa House. Police checked the computer usage history in her bedroom and discovered that she had been working as a prostitute. She had registered an account on an adult forum, uploaded many provocative photos, and publicly listed the prices for her services. In addition, she used 2 MSN accounts to communicate with clients. Records showed that on April 13, Wang Jiamai had posted on the forum and arranged to meet clients late at night. More than a week later, someone even left a review commenting on her services. Sometimes, she also provided companionship services such as walking around the city or shopping with clients. Contact with strangers always carried significant risks, and no one could guarantee Wang Jiamai's safety. Based on her social connections, police believed she might have been in danger after being missing for several days. Wang Jiamai's family knew absolutely nothing about her involvement in prostitution. Her older sister, Ping, told police that the two sisters had been very close and often shared their thoughts with each other. However, at some point, Wang Jiamai's mood began to grow darker, as though she were hiding something troubling in her heart. Gradually, Ping noticed that her younger sister had started associating with many new friends from outside society, ranging in age from 20 to 50 years old. Wang Jiamai frequently talked on the phone with people late at night and sometimes stayed out overnight. Whenever the family asked about it, she would simply say she was dating a boyfriend, yet she never once brought any boyfriend home. Ping knew that her sister often used MSN to chat with people, but she could not believe her sister had become involved in such activities. Normally, Wang Jiamai only liked browsing beauty websites and occasionally going to karaoke. After investigating Wang Jiamai's relationships, police became increasingly concerned for her safety. The case was quickly reported in newspapers in hopes of obtaining clues from witnesses. On May 1, a man named Bang came to the police station and stated that he had met Wang Jiamai before. Bang was a programmer and could be considered one of Wang Jiamai's regular clients. In April 2008, he saw Wang Jiamai's information on the forum and arranged to meet her on April 20. He paid 1,500 Hong Kong dollars, around 4.8 million VND at today's exchange rate, for that meeting. Afterward, the two became closer and frequently chatted online. A few days later, Bang wanted to meet Wang Jiamai again, so he called her, and in the early morning of April 27, they met at Sham Shui Pa station. That night, Wang Jiamai wore a black outfit and carried a yellow bag. The two then went to a nearby hotel. Once inside the room, Wang Jiamai appeared exhausted, so Bang did not have sex with her. Instead, they lay on the bed talking until they unknowingly fell asleep. The next morning, at 9 a.m., the two left the hotel in Sham Shui Pa and said goodbye. This time, Bang paid Wang Jiamai 2,000 Hong Kong dollars and arranged to see her again in the future. Bang stated that after that day, whether through MSN or phone calls, he was unable to contact Wang Jiamai. It was not until May 1, when he saw news reports about her disappearance in the newspapers, that he realized something terrible might have happened and immediately went to the police. The day Wang Jiamai disappeared was also the day she left the hotel with Bang, making him the last known person to have seen her alive. Naturally, Bang became a police suspect. However, after further investigation, police confirmed that his statement was truthful and eliminated him from suspicion. According to Bang, that night in the hotel room, Wang Jiamai confided in him that she wanted to earn money so her mother could live a better life. Wang Jiamai had been scammed by a modeling agency. Not only did she fail to make any money, but she also ended up owing the company 50,000 Hong Kong dollars. Later, she gradually repaid more than $50,000, but on the night of April 26, the modeling company called her again, demanding that she pay an additional $10,000 in interest before May. Otherwise, they threatened to expose the fact that she had once worked for the company and release sensitive videos of her online. Driven into a corner, Wang Jiamai was forced to meet more clients in order to repay the debt. Police speculated that after parting ways with a bang, Wang Jiamai had gone to meet another client, and this person might have been connected to her disappearance. By checking her phone records, investigators discovered that the last call Wang Jiamai made occurred at 1:14 p.m. on April 27 at Sham Shui Pa Station. The call lasted 53 seconds, and the number on the other end was a prepaid phone number registered anonymously. According to Wang Jiamai's MSN chat history at 9:16 a.m. on April 27, someone had arranged to meet her at Sham Shui Pa Station at 1 p.m. that same day. The person instructed Wang Jiamai to call upon arrival, after which they would come to pick her up at the station. The phone number left by that person matched the same number Wang Jiamai had called for the final time. Through the IP address, police traced the MSN messages to a computer located in Yen Fat Building on Shek Kip Mei Road, not far from Sham Shui Pa Station. A week later, on May 6, a 30-year-old man named Adak arrived at the police station looking extremely frightened. He claimed that Wang Jiamai might have been murdered by his friend, 24-year-old Ding Kaitai. Adak explained that he and Ding Kaitai had met and become close friends 10 years earlier while working together at a late-night restaurant. Although they no longer worked together, the two still kept in frequent contact. Adak stated that on the night of April 26, he and Ding Kaitai had gone drinking together at a bar in Tsim Sha Tsui. Ding Kaitai not only drank alcohol but also used drugs. The two stayed at the bar until 7 a.m. the following morning before leaving. On the evening of April 27, between 9:25 p.m. and 11:25 p.m., Adak received 3 consecutive phone calls from Ding Kaitai. During the calls, Ding Kaitai said that he had killed a girl. He claimed that while having sex with the girl, she repeatedly said that she wanted to die. For some unknown reason, he strangled her to death and later dismembered the body to dispose of it. He even described how the girl's body contained a lot of fat and said that he did not want to see her face, so he peeled off her facial skin, discarded the victim's bones, and hid them inside a container used for pig bones at a pork stall. Ding Kaitai's words terrified Adak. However, he still could not believe his friend had actually committed murder and assumed he was simply rambling nonsense after taking drugs. Later, the two met several more times, and Ding Kaitai insisted that everything he had said over the phone had only been a joke. However, in recent days, Adak had become increasingly haunted by the incident. Then, after seeing news reports about Wang Jiamai's disappearance, he realized that the victim's physical description and the timing of her disappearance matched exactly what Ding Kaitai had described on the phone. Adak began to grow suspicious and eventually decided to report the matter to the police. Based on Adak's statement, police concluded that Wang Jiamai's disappearance was far from a simple missing person case. The investigation was transferred to the West Kowloon Regional Crime Unit for further investigation. According to investigators, Ding Kaitai's home address matched the IP address previously traced from the MSN messages. On the night of that same day, the Major Crimes Unit set up surveillance near Yen Fat Building, where Ding Kaitai lived. His apartment was located in the Mao House section of the building. At 11 p.m., Ding Kaitai appeared in the darkness, and police officers immediately rushed in, restrained him, and escorted him back to the police station. During interrogation, Ding Kaitai revealed another alleged accomplice, a friend named Wai Chi, claiming that this person had helped him dispose of the body. Police subsequently arrested Wai Chi as well. Police searched Ding Kaitai's apartment in Yen Fat Building. Inside the bathroom, bloodstains that had not been fully cleaned were still visible on the floor, walls, door frame, and shower curtain. Blood traces were also found on the computer desk, chair, and carpet in the bedroom. Even a CD inside the disk drive was stained with blood. DNA test results confirmed that all of the blood belonged to Wang Jiamai. It was clear that this apartment was the scene of the murder. During questioning, Ding Kaitai confessed to killing Wang Jiamai and claimed that he had dumped her body into the sea near the Kowloon Pier. At 8 o'clock the following morning, a group of police officers escorted him to the waterfront area near the pier where he said he had disposed of the remains. By 3 p.m., divers had searched the seabed twice but found nothing. At that point, Ding Kaitai changed his statement, claiming that he had dismembered Wang Jiamai. He said he had thrown only her head into the sea, while the remaining body parts had been cut into pieces and flushed down the toilet. Some bone fragments, he claimed, had been taken to a pork stall in Shek Kip Mei and mixed together with pork. The killer's confession shocked the police. Since more than 10 days had passed, some of the bones might already have been sold to customers. Once details of the case became public, it caused enormous public outrage. Reports that Ding Kaitai had mixed human flesh into pork at a market stall terrified local residents. Rumors quickly spread online claiming that Wang Jiamai had gone to Yen Fat Building on the day of the incident to participate in a group sex party with Ding Kaitai and several others. According to the rumors, Wang Jiamai had a habit of using drugs before sex and had died from a drug overdose. To avoid responsibility, Ding Kaitai and Wai Chi supposedly dismembered the victim and disposed of the remains in the sea and at the pork stall. However, after further investigation, police confirmed that these rumors were false. At the time of the crime, Wai Chi had a reliable alibi. He was not involved in the murder and had not helped Ding Kaitai dispose of the body as Ding originally claimed. Through additional investigation, police were eventually able to reconstruct part of what had happened. Early that morning, after leaving the bar at 7 a.m., Ding Kaitai continued using drugs. After returning home, he remained highly stimulated and unable to sleep. While under the influence, he contacted Wang Jiamai. Shortly after 1 p.m., the two met, and Ding Kaitai brought her back to his apartment. They used drugs together and later had sex. Around 3 p.m., Ding Kaitai woke up and was horrified to discover Wang Jiamai lying motionless on the bed, foam coming from her mouth and her body cold to the touch. She was dead. Ding Kaitai realized that he had killed someone, yet he could not clearly remember the exact sequence of events. He only believed that he had strangled the victim for 1 to 2 minutes. At first, he was terrified by Wang Jiamai's death, but after only 5 to 10 minutes of panic, the idea of dismembering the body to destroy evidence suddenly came to his mind. Ding Kaitai chose dismemberment because he believed it would make the crime harder to uncover. He spent several hours cutting up Wang Jiamai's body. Draining the blood alone reportedly took him 10 to 15 minutes. While handling the body, he realized that skinning and removing flesh at the same time was too difficult, so he decided to skin the body first and then strip away the flesh, similar to the way pigs are butchered. To avoid clogging the toilet, he cut the remains into tiny pieces and flushed them away in multiple batches. When disposing of the fingers and toes, he flushed the toilet after each one to make sure they disappeared completely. At 10 p.m., Ding Kaitai began dealing with the bones that could not be flushed down the toilet, such as the arm bones, leg bones, and spine. He decided to remove all remaining flesh so they would no longer resemble human bones, making it easier to later mix them in with pork. Afterward, he carried the victim's head onto a bus, traveled to the Kowloon Pier, and threw it into the sea. Aside from the head, which was disposed of in the ocean, Ding Kaitai divided the remaining body parts into 2 portions and discarded them at a pork stall in the market on Shek Kip Mei Road. Before his arrest, Ding Kaitai continued living normally, eating, drinking, and going out as if nothing had happened. During this period, he called a DAC several times, and it was ultimately these phone calls that helped police identify him. Police asked Ding Kaitai whether he had previously worked in jobs related to anatomy, surgery, or pork butchering, and whether he had photographed the dismemberment process, but he denied all of it. Every step taken by Ding Kaitai appeared carefully calculated. Even his decision to take the victim's head onto a bus before disposing of it, and then taking another bus home afterward, had a reason behind it. He believed that traveling by bus would reduce the likelihood of police inspections and minimize the risk of being caught. After Ding Kaitai was arrested, psychiatrists from Castle Peak Hospital examined him. Ding Kaitai stated that he had undergone psychiatric treatment at the age of 8, began purchasing sex services at 16, started using drugs in late 2001, and had been visiting pornographic websites since 2002. Some experts pointed out that if his statements were true, he might have suffered from drug-induced automatism. Automatism is a rare neurological condition in which a person performs simple or complex actions unconsciously during or after a seizure-like state and later has no memory of those actions. However, according to the director of the hospital's Substance Abuse Treatment Center, there was no medical evidence showing that drug abuse could directly cause automatism. The reason Ding Kaitai claimed to remember nothing about the killing might instead have been psychological confusion caused by the dismemberment process itself. Small pieces of the victim's body had been flushed down the toilet repeatedly. Wastewater from the building flowed through pumping stations and treatment tanks before being transferred to a nearby sewage treatment plant. The facility processed millions of cubic meters of wastewater every day for the surrounding district and nearby sea. After treatment, the wastewater was discharged into the ocean. These facilities operated around the clock, and searching for body fragments within such a vast and complicated sewage system was like searching for a needle in a haystack. However, residents living near the crime scene recently reported a foul odor similar to a dead rat coming from the drainage system near a real estate company and a clothing shop on the ground floor of the building. After receiving the reports, police contacted the Drainage Services Department to coordinate an investigation. On May 8, workers from the Drainage Department began searching for body fragments inside the sewer system and several manholes near the crime scene. While tapping on one drainage pipe, they detected an unusual sound suggesting that something was blocking the pipe. The following evening, investigators made a major breakthrough. From mud and sludge excavated from a manhole, they discovered more than 20 pieces of flesh suspected to be human remains. DNA testing later confirmed that the tissue belonged to Wang Jiamai. As for the victim's head, despite police expanding underwater searches around Kowloon Pier, no trace of it was ever recovered. The criminal, Ding Kaitai, nicknamed Fat Boy Tai, was 24 years old, 1.77 meters tall, and weighed 95 kilograms. He was born in Hong Kong and was the second child in a family with 4 siblings. As a child, Ding Kaitai was rebellious and frequently got into fights and trouble. At the age of 5, during a family trip to mainland China, he was involved in a serious traffic accident. The accident caused a brain injury and forced him to witness the death of his mother. Afterward, his maternal relatives blamed Ding Kaitai's father for causing her death. 2 years later, his father remarried, and the family moved to live in Nam Shan village. Ding Kaitai's stepmother and her children reportedly got along relatively well with the family. At the age of 8, because of his violent temper and difficulties in school, Ding Kaitai was taken by his family to a hospital for psychological evaluation. After being diagnosed with an emotional disorder, he was sent to a special school for children with disabilities. At 15, after assaulting another person, Ding Kaitai was sent to a juvenile rehabilitation center for counseling. He dropped out of school in the 6th grade. Afterward, he worked as a delivery worker for a late-night restaurant and later as an air conditioner installer alongside his cousin at a construction site. Drawn to the temptations of the outside world, Ding Kaitai gradually fell deeper into a life of vice and addiction. He once consumed drugs to the point of vomiting and suffering nosebleeds, yet he became addicted to the euphoric sensations they produced. Ding Kaitai immersed himself in a decadent lifestyle. Even after getting a girlfriend, he still spent his time searching for prostitutes. According to the owner of the late-night restaurant where Ding Kaitai once worked, his salary at the time was slightly over 4,000 Hong Kong dollars. He only stayed at the job for about half a year before quitting. With his bleached blonde hair and overweight figure, people nicknamed him Fat Boy Tai. Ding Kaitai frequently bragged about his encounters with prostitutes. He also got into conflicts with others over money matters. His behavior resembled that of a street thug. Several former co-workers described him as boastful, lazy, and obsessed with pleasure. He spent money recklessly and then borrowed from friends afterward. Ding Kaitai constantly wanted to get rich quickly. At one point, he borrowed 60,000 Hong Kong dollars from a finance company and spent it all within a short time. Later, he borrowed another 200,000 Hong Kong dollars from the same company. Unable to repay the debts, he was eventually confronted by debt collectors at his home and was forced to move away to avoid them. In the eyes of his close friend Dak, Ding Kaitai was clever but hot-tempered, easily angered, and foul-mouthed. In June 2007, at the age of 23, Ding Kaitai rented an apartment on the second floor of Yen Fat building on Shek Kip Mei Road for 2,000 Hong Kong dollars per month. 1 year later, that apartment became the scene of the horrifying murder case. A year after the crime, in July 2009, the trial was held at the High Court of Hong Kong. Defendant Ding Kaitai was charged with murder and preventing the lawful burial of a body. During the trial, Ding Kaitai admitted to his crimes. After 6 days of proceedings, the court delivered its verdict. Ding Kaitai was found guilty of murder and sentenced to life imprisonment. For obstructing the lawful burial of a body, he received an additional 5-year prison sentence. The final punishment was life imprisonment. Later that same year, in November, Dak, the close friend who had reported Ding Kaitai's crimes and helped police solve the case, was invited to attend the 2009 Outstanding Citizen Award ceremony. While receiving the award, Dak became deeply emotional. He was said to be the only recipient who did not feel happy about receiving the honor. Dak shared, "My feelings are very complicated. He, Ding Kaitai, really did kill someone. Sometimes I still cannot understand it." In 2015, the film Port of Call, Chinese title, Tap Tuet Tuan Mai, which was adapted from this case, was released and once again sparked widespread public debate. Even today, several mysteries surrounding the case remain unanswered. Did Ding Kaitai truly commit the murder while in an unconscious or mentally impaired state? If not, what was his real motive for killing Wang Jiamai? Perhaps only Ding Kaitai himself knows the truth. The Wang Jiamai case left the people of Hong Kong shocked and haunted for years afterward. The image of the young schoolgirl with a bright smile and dreams of a better future was forever frozen inside that cold apartment. Her tragic death became a warning about the dangers hidden beneath the glittering surface of modern society, where dazzling lights cannot fully conceal its darkest corners. Ding Kaitai paid for his brutal crimes behind bars, yet no sentence could ever truly heal the pain and loss suffered by Wang Jiamai's family. This heartbreaking story also serves as a plea to every family, to offer children more love, understanding, and compassion. Only love and care can truly guide vulnerable young souls through temptation and toward a brighter future. Perhaps somewhere in heaven, Wang Jiamai has finally found peace and release from the exhausting struggles she endured during her short life. See you all for the next cases. Please like and subscribe to my channel to support me.